Hey, it's Drybear. Today I wanted to warn you Diablo 4 players by something that might be stealing tens of millions of your gold without you even realizing it. But first, you should come hang out with me on my live stream. I'm live every single day on twitch.tv/Drybear. If you don't come hang out with me in the community, then your computer is going to want to do its once a month updates every single day for several days. Okay, so this one is actually a pretty big bug that exists in the game right now that is kind of devastating. So one thing to keep in mind is that obviously when you go to re-roll at the occultist, the enchant tab, you're trying to get better stats on individual pieces of gear. And as you re-roll the stats on the gear, the enchant cost goes up and up and up and can go into the tens, hundreds of millions as you try to get that perfect roll on your item. However, there is a bug with the seasonal journey that exists in the game right now. If you didn't know, the way it determines the cost of the re-rolling for these items is primarily based on the sell value of the item. So when you look at an item and it has a sell value on it, it bases that kind of roll and scaling up on from that, which allows us to calculate, at least from a third-party perspective, how much the enchant cost is going to be as it goes up. However, if you open your seasonal journey by pressing U in game and you go to your season's blessings, the Urn of Bargaining boosts the amount of gold you earn from vendor sales. And what this does when you put points into it is that it means that when you have an item that you sell to a vendor, the sell value will go up, which means that you gain more gold as you put points into this and benefit it, which is a pretty cool benefit. And as of right now, as far as I can tell, this works for all items, all gear and things that you sell to a vendor. The problem with that is that since the enchanting cost is based on the sell value of the item, it will increase the enchanting cost of the items right now until we get a hotfix that fixes it. So let's do a quick example of this. You can see that my legendary ring right here costs 3.349 million gold, so 3,349,000 gold to enchant. So remember that number. We're going to go ahead and we're going to open our season journey. We're going to put 1 point into the Urn of Bargaining, which boosts the amount of gold earned from vendor sales. Then when I go back to the enchant vendor and try to re-roll the exact same ring without any changes, you can see that this now costs about 300,000 more gold to enchant this item than it did before because of this bonus. Now, I just think that it's not equal. So actually, if you put like 1 point into this, it won't affect your items. If you put multiple, I think just 1 or 2 of these tiers is misconfigured in the database, and so when you put points in here, it will improperly affect the gold reroll value of these items. And as far as I can tell, it only affects legendaries. So if you're rolling with yellows, like your rares, trying to get good gear, it doesn't seem to affect that price at all. But if you're any legendary that you have, if you're trying to re-roll it, especially if you have 2 or 3 points into it for this here, the Urn of Bargaining, it's going to increase the enchant cost by that same amount. So you're going to be spending a lot more gold with each enchant that you do on legendary items. I wanted to get this PSA out there ASAP so people weren't burning gold away that like I was. I ended up rolling many items very high up in the cost, and I ended up burning about 50 million gold. And then I discovered this bug along the way when I was thinking like this is taking a little more gold than I feel like it should. And that's just where we're ending up with that one. So that is just actually something to be aware of as you go in through your journey. Hopefully this is on their radar and this gets fixed in the next hotfix later this week, and we'll be able to get this sorted out. But just so you know, if you do have points into the seasonal blessing Urn of Bargaining, you are increasing your enchanting costs for some of these tiers here, and you may want to consider, if you're re-rolling a legendary item, removing your points from the Urn of Bargaining for a amount of gold, then re-rolling your legendaries and putting the points back in afterwards until it gets up. If you enjoyed yourself today, leave a like down below. You can support me and my work on Patreon and view Patreon exclusive content, link in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.